everyone guys, my name is Tanya and welcome to TGym. Okay, a moment of attention. I strongly advise you to watch this video to actually anyone who is interested in losing weight in the abdomen and how to pump up the press, how to remove the sides, how to remove the lower tummy. That is, to everyone who's interested in this area of your body. It has been necessary to show this video in order to finally sort out all the most important questions, dispel many myths, and finally answer your most frequently asked questions about the press. And if suddenly you accidentally got on my channel or on this video, and if you're interested in the topic of nutrition, training, and you don't have enough motivation, then click this red subscribe button. Well, if you have already subscribed to my channel, then do not forget to turn on the bell next to this button so that you receive alerts on your phone when my new video is released on the channel. Let's go! Now I will tell you the most basic rule that concerns your flat tummy and abs. I hope you're ready for this. The press is done in the kitchen. This is really the most basic rule, and that's where to start this video. After all, nutrition is the basis of your result and the basis of weight loss throughout your body, including your stomach. Definitely your diet should be balanced, of high quality, so that you have enough protein, fat, and carbohydrates in your diet. But among all these basic rules of proper nutrition, one important thing for your weight loss is to actually observe a calorie deficit. If we are talking about losing weight, getting rid of the fat layer, I'll tell you about it even further. Then it is very important for us to literally stay to the calorie deficit consumed as food. We also have calories that we spent in training. Therefore, if you and I spend very few calories, we do not do much and live such an, office lifestyle of a plankton and consume a lot of calories, then of course you're gaining excess weight. And if we align these scales and we consume less than we actually spend, it is logical that there is weight loss. Our main goal is to speed up your metabolism through multiple meals, in general, a balanced diet with a calorie deficit, and of course the activity of your regular workouts. That is when the weight loss process will actually start. And now more about the process of losing weight. How do you and I in general begin to lose weight and how it will finally manifest itself on our abs and stomach? Let's debunk this terrible myth once and for all, which is actually still, guys, 2019, and I still see such questions like, how to lose weight there, and there. Naturally in this video, you're interested in the topic of the belly. The fat layer covers your entire body, and you won't believe it, even your face. Somewhere less, somewhere more, somewhere, depending on your body type and in general predisposition to gaining weight, you may have to say like more voluminous legs, buttocks, with very pronounced cellulite, and your hands, for example, will be slim and fit. This can also happen. So when you and I lose weight, adjust your nutrition, achieve this calorie deficit, exercise regularly, your fat layer begins to go away throughout your whole entire body. It may also not go away quite, evenly as you would like, because again, we are all different and of different body types. Somewhere you can lose weight very quickly, and in the chest it happens the fastest, but the fact that weight loss occurs throughout your whole entire body, it needs to be known and it needs to be understood. I would really like to dwell on the fact that in general for the female body, it is very insulting of course, but the fact that there is a predisposition that we should gain this fat layer and the abdominal area there. Everything is very simple. Our Mother Nature has tried very hard to ensure that we carry a child in the future, and just this fat layer would help us in this. So it should also be understood that after all, if we compare men and women, then men in any case lose weight faster in this area, and they have some kind of, drying of the press even faster. So they can actually really dry it well, while girls achieve it very hard. The safe percentage of the fat layer for girls for the female body is about 13 to 15%. If your fat layer is very thin, I understand that you see your abs, you just get obsessed with yourself in particular. There are situations like this for girls who are preparing for a fitness bikini. They cannot be in this form all the time because it is unsafe for their health. and very serious problems in your health may arise. Therefore, in this whole pursuit of the press, it is very important to remember the most basic. Health is above all. It is logical that you have a question, Tanya, how in general to measure this percentage of the fat layer? In fact, there are options. There are special tweezers that, measure your crease here, and it turns out from the plate how many percent of your fat mass you have. This is of course all very rough. There are also some expensive clinics, probably special baths where you're placed, and there it shows how many percent of your fat mass throughout your body you actually have. It is also very important to understand such a point as anatomy, because if you're very new to fitness, it is very important to know how your muscles are arranged in general and how important it is for your workouts. There's a rectus muscle of your abdomen and oblique adductor muscles of your abs. There are also a lot of small muscles in your body that work as stabilizers in some say basic exercises so that you hold your body. Whatever exercise you do on the press, whether it's lifting your legs or conversely twisting the upper part of the body, you in any case have your entire press working. But depending on the exercise, for example, lifting the legs on the crossbar, let's say our legs rise, and we still give more emphasis to the lower part of your abs, but the upper press is also working. Therefore, it's not entirely correct to say that, for example, some exercises involve only the lower part or only the upper part of your body. Therefore, let's face it, and there are no exercises that remove the lower tummy off your stomach over there, this nasty little thing as I call it. They're just exercises that involve the lower part of your abs more, but still, a lot depends on your nutrition. And in general, understand that this lower tummy is in general our predisposition of the female body, and it is the hardest to get rid of. I'm now smoothly bringing you to the topic of exercises for your abs. I hope you didn't boil too much there, but it's very important to understand workouts for your abs, which exercises are the most effective, and which exercises are best in general or exclude from your workouts. Let's start with what exercises are the most effective for pumping your abs. Initially, it is important to understand that the muscles of our core, abs stabilizer muscles in general, are very often included in the work, even in basic exercises, because they hold our body so that we stand with you statically. So we squat, let's say, with the right technique, do some lunges. Our abs are already working in some basic exercises. Therefore, this is already enough work for your muscles over there. If we're talking specifically about exercises on the press, then nothing comes to my mind smarter and more effective than an exercise called a plank. A plank is on your knees, on even hands, on your elbows, according to the degree of increasing load and according to the degree of your preparedness. This is an exercise that you can do really every day, which works out all your abs muscles and which indeed is the most effective one. Of course, there are some nuances and contradictions, especially if you're after pregnancy and you have diastasis. Other exercises such as twisting, lifting the legs, they can be present in your program, but it makes no sense to do them every day. Personally, I train my abs once a week. It can be any exercise, absolutely. Approximately 3 sets of 20 to 25 reps. That is it. If you always keep the muscles of your abs in good shape, if you always exercise regularly, your muscles are already working. The most important thing is that you see them. This is the fat layer, that is reduction. And now the most interesting thing, what exercises are best not to do for your abs and which are best to completely forget about and never add them to your training program. Definitely no to the load on the oblique muscles of your abs with extra weight. In general, I don't think the extra weight should be used in abs exercises. Let's say twisting with some kind of dumbbell or disc, or let's say these, prayer twists in a block machine over there. You can, of course, use your oblique abdominal muscles in simple, let's say twists in a plank when we work with the weight of our own body, but this load should be so minimal that it is practically should not be there. Sagging skin is actually a very important problem that is worth talking about. And I'm not going to talk here about any means that can tighten your skin. I'm only telling the truth, something that really works. No matter how hard you train, no matter how right you eat, the skin, it, may tighten there slightly. But if there is too much of it and it's just an apron, here unfortunately only surgical intervention can help you. You can of course do additionally, in addition to training, for the tone of your muscles, a conscious shower, different scrubbings, different reps, but there's only a small chance that it will actually help. Still, you need to understand that initially it is necessary to deal with this, the moment of losing weight or during childbirth, to help yourself so that your skin does not sag, but here too. Therefore, unfortunately, I cannot say that it is possible to get rid of sagging skin by exercises or by some cosmetic means. I have mentioned the following problem in the past. This is diastasis, and it is also important to talk about this in the video about the press, because girls after childbirth, and by the way, this problem concerns not only people after childbirth, when the muscles, these rectus abdominis muscles, which we have already talked about, they diverge and you form such a small hollow between these cubes of yours. There's no need to be afraid of diastasis. It can really be removed. You just need to know some aspects of your training to keep in mind, exercises that you can do and exercises that are best to be avoided. I will briefly explain to you these exercises because I have already had a separate filmed video about the diastasis. A link to it will be in the description. With diastasis, it is better to avoid load on the rectus muscles of your abdomen so these muscles do not, strain too much, and so that the diastasis does not become even more visible, because you need just the opposite to narrow the muscles of your abs. And therefore, these loads like, a plank or some sort of twisting, you'd better temporarily not perform them. The following breathing exercise, I think, many have now guessed what I'm talking about, and which I advise you to perform for those who want to reduce the waist, speed up your metabolism, in general, work out the deepest muscles of your abs, especially for girls after childbirth, especially if you have diastasis. This is a vacuum. The vacuum was also performed by Arnold Schwarzenegger in order to make himself a thin waist, but it's like a bonus that you still get from this exercise. The most important thing is to accelerate your metabolism with this exercise and work out the deepest muscles of your abs. What helps you to always keep your abs so your tummy is in good shape and so that you don't walk like this. How to do it? You can read on the internet everything about the technique. In short, I'll tell you from myself that it is better to do it in the morning on an empty stomach. Because your stomach is empty, it'll be easier for you to do these manipulations with your breathing. Get up in the morning. It is best and easiest to do this with the tilt of your body. And you begin to breathe deeply at first, then make a powerful exhalation from all your lungs. And as it were, press your navel to the spine. It needs to be tried. You need to feel it, and the more often you do this, the more you'll be able to pull in your stomach and work out your muscles. You can endlessly talk about the press and weight loss in the stomach. A lot of questions arise, and the next question is bloating or swelling of your stomach. The initial reason is the critical days, or on critical days menstruation. Our female body, that's lucky for us, right? Our female body is predisposed to a set of fluids. It's quite normal that your tummy may be swollen, and in general you may look more puffy. Over time, with the end of your cycle, this swelling will simply pass. But also some foods can affect your puffiness. In no case do I forbid anyone to eat dairy products, but unfortunately, if you have too many of them in your diet, then this can really affect your puffiness, the water state of your body, as well as for rashes. Therefore, you can pay attention to this, and as an experiment, for example, reduce the amount of dairy products in your diet. And of course, salty foods, some kind of preservation, salty fish, something that can hold water in your body, can also affect your puffiness and bloating. And the last thing I should definitely say in this video encyclopedia about the press and the stomach is the waist. How to achieve it, how to remove fat there, and how to achieve these feminine curves. The first thing that you and I should initially realize is that we're completely different, and our body type is also different with you. I think you have heard of such types of shapes as rectangle, inverted triangle, pear, apple. That is, it suggests that, some people may have indeed a visible waist, narrow ribs, wide hips, and their shoulders are quite voluminous like their breasts, it is very wrong and illogical to look up on photos of some girls who, for example, have a very visible waist and poke at the couch's photo like this and say, I want a waist like this. If you have a figure type, for example, of an apple or rectangle, because no matter how hard you try, no matter what exercises you do, the frame of your body, your skeleton, is not predisposed to make such an, aspen waist. Girls, let's face it. All that you can in general do for your waistline to reduce it is simply to reduce this fat layer, which is located in the area of your abdomen and of course in your entire body through a calorie deficit in your own diet. Also, as I have said, you must remove the load on the oblique muscles of your abs so that they do not feel too much tone and thus do not expand you even more there. That is it. And that's all you can do. You cannot jump higher than your genetics and your, physique, the structure of your skeleton. You can spin this hula hoop for hours, but you can only earn bruises over there and get some kind of massage in order to maybe slightly remove some fat over there. But you will not make yourself an aspen thin waist in this way. You can wear this corset with braces all day long, sleep in it, eat in it, go to work in it, but again, this may be as temporary effect and not very useful. Therefore, remember that we're all different. Each of us has a different structure of the skeleton, and the body and muscles may even be different. For someone, these abdominal muscles may be symmetrical to each other, and for someone, they may be slightly at different distances. This is also normal. The only thing I could advise is how to keep at least what you have over there, your waistline, and not expand it with your workouts, because, this is also possible. If you work out in the gym, if you train regularly, intensively, more professionally, if you work in basic exercises with heavy weights, it can still expand your waist a little, or maybe a lot, because, as I have told you earlier, in basic exercises, our abs, cortical muscles do work, and if we give them a strong load, they can expand with us. In such cases, you can use an athletic belt or a belt, just tighten it on the approach to minimize the load on your abs over there. In no case can it be completely excluded, it is impossible, but at least to minimize it so that too much load does not go to your ab muscles. And you can use an athletic belt or just a belt, therefore you can use it in your gym workouts every day. Whew, I have finished this video. It seems to me that it turned out to be super mega informative and very useful. I really hope so, because today we have discussed a lot of questions, a lot of myths about our belly getting, rid of the fat layer, losing weight in the stomach, how to see the press, how to see these cubes. I hope you learned a lot for yourself if you are new to fitness. And if you already knew all this, then it's good that you reminded yourself of it. And if you have friends who are interested in training, and if one of them wants, let's say, to pump up abs, a girl or a guy, it doesn't matter, then be sure to share this video on social media and tell your friends, because in this video, it seems to me all such important and truthful information about your abs and stomach is collected. Well guys, I'll say goodbye to you. If you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to do that and don't forget to push on the bell. Also, if this video still turned out to be useful and interesting for you, then put a huge fat like to this video. We'll see you in the next video. Good luck everyone. Bye!